On Tisha B'Av was the Hilula of a very special tzaddik that I have a connection to. His name was Rabbi Chaim David Serero, right? My son is called Binyamin Chaim. Chaim is for Rabbi Chaim David Serero. Now, he passed away rather recently in 1960. And this tzaddik, this dayan, was from a great dynasty of Rabbanim in Morocco. Their name was the Serero family. As a matter of fact, when we recently were by their kivadim, I showed the people that were there a whole row of tzaddikim. We're talking about 15 to 20 of them of Serero family, each one of them great geonim. So it started that if you remember one of the great Gidolei Ador that was on the Bedin by the time of the Ohr HaChaim HaKadosh, his name was Rabbi Yaakov Ben Tzur. The Mishpat Utztak Rabbi Yaakov. He's the bedrock of the Psak that Rav Ovadia Yosef and others always quote that Kibalnu Horot Maran Afilu Keneged Elef Poskim. So he was the father-in-law of Rav Matatyahu Serero. Rav Matatyahu Serero, we're talking about in the 1700s. It is said one time that when he was a baby, so Rav Chaim David Serero himself saw him. I'm sorry, Rav Yaakov Ben Tzur himself saw that a snake came down and went down during the night to the mother and started taking milk from her breast, and to a point that when she woke up, she didn't even realize. He said, "Go quickly, wash yourself, because otherwise the kid would have suckled some venom." He said it was a great miracle that happened then. Either way, this is written in the Sefer Malchei Rabbanan. Rav Matatyahu had 7 children. It was called Shivat Kanei Menorah. Each one, once again, great Geonei Torah. Yaakov, Rabbi Yeshua, Rabbi Nachman, Rabbi Yonatan, Rabbi Shaul, Rabbi Menachem, and Rabbi Chaim. So Rabbi Chaim David Serero, this is the first Rabbi Chaim David Serero. He lived until the age of 77. As a matter of fact, that's Oz, Ayin Zayin. By his deathbed, he kept on saying Oz ve'adar levu shavat yitzchak liyom macharot until he passed away. That's what's written in Malchei Rabbanan as well. He had a child, Rabbi Matatyahu Serero, and that child was also a big gaon. That child had another Chaim David Serero, the second, and that one had another one, Rabbi Matatyahu Serero. We'll call it the father of Rav Chaim David Serero. He was on the Bedin together with great Geonim at that time, and he was the father of Rav Chaim David Serero that we are talking about now. So he was born in 1884 in the city of Fez, and the reason why I have such a kesher to this tzaddik is that in the year 2013, I had the opportunity of publishing his writing, his She'elot U'Tshuvot, Rabbi Chaim David Serero, because he donated his library along with manuscripts to Yeshivat Porat Yosef. And Yeshivat Porat Yosef at that time, Rav Ben Zion Bashol would use his library very often. That's Rav Shlomo Dayan told me that he would actually use this library that Rav Chaim David Serero donated, and in it there was his questions and answers that he wrote up himself. So Baruch Hashem, Rav Meir Abid Bol Zichrono Livracha, Hashem should remember him for good for all of the different publications that he did, had the foresight to photocopy these teshuvot. He photocopied them. In the meantime, somebody stole a lot of books of that library. So they were stolen, but we still had a photocopy. So Rav Meir Abid Bol gave me that copy, and I was able to put it out as a sefer. You should know that the sefer gives a real history about what was going on in Morocco at that time. From the cities, he was first a dayan in the city of Marrakesh, then in Mogador, and then he came to the city of Fez. And you could see all the challenges that there were at that time of questions between husband and wives and interest and loans and all types of things. If a person's going to study the book and study the Sefer and see, it's quite unbelievable. He was known as one of the premier dayanim from that city at that time. In the year 1940, that he was appointed to the city of Marrakesh as one of the dayanim, and from there he became the Av Bedin in the city of Mogador. As a matter of fact, it's interesting. Full circle. There's a Haggadah called She'ar Yirakot that we also recently put out last year from Rabbi Baruch As-Sabag, and he gave a haskama while he was a dayan in Marrakesh. He gave haskama to that sefer. In 1941, he became the Av Bedin of Mogador, and that's when he was together with Rav Chaim David ben Susan, Rabbi Ari ben Sushan's great-grandfather. So they were on the same Bedin together. It was very, very interesting. I have a whole story about it. I'll tell you guys another time. But his teshuvot that he covered when he was actually at the meetings of the year 1947 till 1955. There was meetings of all of the Rabbanim together in the city of Rabat, and each one would propose different takanot, different enactments that would benefit the generation. And he was always one of the big Rosh HaMedabrim, we call them, one of them that really led the charge against the times. The wave of modernity, the wave of secularism was already starting to penetrate in Morocco, and he was there as one of the continuers of dynasties that eventually he came back from Mogador to Fez, and that's where he lived his life until he retired and passed away in 1960. So this was the life of Rabbi Chaim David Serero. Just to give you one quick psak din, is that he has a chidush over here, that not only, just like we know that a father is obligated to teach his son a trade, he's also obligated to teach his daughter a trade. The same chiyuv between, I don't know anybody else who writes it this way, but he writes that just like he's obligated to teach his son a trade, because nowadays the daughter also has to bring in a parnasa. In those days already, many women used to make these special buttons called ulkad. Was these special buttons on the kaftans. That was their trade. And a lot of them, it seems to be they need a dual income already in those times. So he says, just like you're obligated to teach your son a trade, you're obligated to teach your daughter a trade. Chazaku baruch.